Yo guys, what is going on? It is Yatesy here. Now today, as you can tell by the thumbnail and the title of the video, today I'm going to be sharing my opinions on the appointment of Jose Mourinho to Manchester United. I said in my season review video that I uploaded a while ago, I can't exactly remember. I'll leave a link to that in the description if you want to go check that out. I just review Manchester United's season before the FA Cup, which by the way we won, which I'm very excited about. Obviously it was a while ago, but still buzzing. But anyway. Onto the topic of today's video. Jose Mourinho coming to Manchester United. My thoughts on that? I think it's pretty good. I did say in the season review I wasn't entirely sure, but I don't know, I'm quite keen. The only thing I'm not really excited about is purely just selling players that I love. Yeah, that's one thing I hope he doesn't do, just change too many players. I will talk more soonish about players that he's going to be bringing in and out. So I'll get more onto that in a minute. Now onto Louis van Gaal. I feel like he was a bit unlucky, but he did have 2 seasons to prove himself, and he only had the FA Cup to show, which is a very good trophy to win, but 1 trophy in 2 years when you're expected to be challenging for the BPL title both seasons, you know, it's not really that good enough, but he was alright. I mean, we got to Champions League once, and then this season obviously we didn't qualify, which is a shame, but hopefully Mourinho will bring us back to that. But that's really all I have to say about Louis van Gaal. He had his shot and he just didn't take it all really. So, you know, not much he can do about it now, but hopefully he gets back into the managerial spot somewhere else soon, and hopefully he succeeds. I mean, because I did like him. He wasn't too bad. I think he was very hard done by. The fans were a bit harsh to him, but, you know, at the end of the day, there's not much we can do about it. Now, I'll get on to Jose Mourinho, who he wants to bring in and stuff like that. He is looking to get a new centre-back to partner Chris Smalling. Now, rumours getting thrown around are John Stones, Raphael Varane. Both of them would be alright, but I feel like, I said in my season review, Daley Blind was very, very good this year, and I stand by that. But I feel like John Stones isn't quite as good as Daley Blind. Just in my personal opinion. Don't abuse me, guys. It's all opinion based, so if you disagree with me, let me know in the comments why you disagree with me. But I purely think Daley Blind had a better season than John Stones. But obviously John Stones is a lot younger, so he's got that on Daley Blind. But Raphael Varane would be an absolutely amazing signing, and the likelihood of us getting him is pretty high, considering that Jose Mourinho is now at Manchester United, and Jose Mourinho was the manager who pretty much gave Varane, or Varane, however you say it, his shot in the you know the professional level. Well, he was at Real Madrid. He gave Varane his shot, and Varane proved that he's one of the best centre backs, best up and coming centre backs for France and the world. So, and rumor has it that Varane is unhappy at Real Madrid because Ramos and Pepe are higher than him up the pecking order. But I feel like Varane deserves to start. Wherever he goes, he deserves to be a starter. I personally think he's better than Pepe. He's got a lot more pace. He's a lot younger. I think he's just also technically better at the back. Pepe's just got a bit more leadership about him, but that's obviously because he's like 8 years older or whatever. But anyway, now the players that Mourinho is rumored to want to get rid of, I'll start off with Antonio Valencia. Now, personally, I think this is brilliant. I feel like Valencia he's not as good as he used to be. He's 30-something now, and he's just lost all his pace. I personally think in the last few games of the season, the last couple months that he was playing, he was very, very poor. I mean, I think he was up there for Manchester United's Player of May, I think. Player of May, but I don't think he won it. But yeah, I think Valencia would be great to get rid of. It'd free up some funds, because obviously Mourinho wants to bring in some big players. So yeah, Valencia would be, you know, decent one to get rid of. Another one is Memphis Depay. I don't feel like we should sell him. I mean, give him 1 more season, or at least another half a season to prove himself. And if he doesn't prove himself, or he keeps going on the way he's been going last season, that's when we should think to get rid of him. Because I said in my season review video that I feel like if we get rid of him, it'll be like an Angel Di Maria sort of situation. We'll get rid of him just because of 1 season, and then I reckon he'll become really, really good. So even though he already is really good, it's just I don't understand why he didn't, play well, Memphis. I mean, he had a bit of a spell there where he was alright, but majority of the season I think he was quite poor. Ashley Young is similar to Antonio Valencia. He wants to be. Well, the rumor is that Young will be sold. He's exactly the same as Valencia. He's getting a bit old. It'd free up some funds. I reckon it'd be pretty good. But if he stayed, it wouldn't be too bad. But to be honest, I would much prefer to get rid of him just to free up some funds, and because he's pretty old. Marcos Rojo is another one who's rumored to be sold. Now, I don't know. He see when he plays good, he's pretty freaking good. But when he plays bad, obviously he's bad. But that's his problem. He was way too inconsistent. I mean, if he gets a good consistency going, of playing good, obviously, he deserves to be at that left back spot or the centre back role for Manchester United week in, week out. But and if he was consistently bad, definitely get rid of him, because when he plays bad, he's quite shocking. But see, his inconsistency just makes people think, should he be sold? Should he be kept? People are kind of 50-50 with that one, just because he's so inconsistent. But if he just got a bit of consistency in his playing good, he'd stay at Manchester United all day of the week. Now, the biggest one that everyone is waiting to be announced is Juan Mata. Now, I really don't want him to go, mainly because he's like a fan favourite. No one wants Juan Mata to go, but in the end, it's up to Jose Mourinho, who we all know is a very defensive-minded coach. And in his opinion, Mata doesn't do enough defensive work, which is fair enough, but I just still don't really want him to go. But if Mourinho sells him, I hope he brings in a quality player in to replace him, because Juan Mata is a quality player, especially going forward. Obviously, his defensive work is what is putting him in the danger zone of being on the transfer list. But I really don't want Juan Mata to be sold. Hopefully, he doesn't get sold. Now, the next one. Sorry, I'm just looking down at my notes. Michael Carrick. Now, his contract ends at the end of the season. I'd like him to stay. I feel like as a midfielder, he's like the perfect midfielder. He holds that central midfield so well, but he is getting quite old. I think he's like 34 or 35. So keeping him on, again, like Ashley Young and Antonio Valencia, it would free up some funds to sign younger, better players. But Michael Carrick is one of those older players that you'd probably want to retire at the club, but he'll more than likely be sold, which is unfortunate, or he just won't renew his contract. Now, another big one that is rumoured to be sold, like another very likely player to be sold, is Bastian Schweinsteiger, purely based on his injuries. I mean, he's so injury prone. I mean, obviously in his last season at Bayern, and plenty of seasons before that, but his last season at Bayern in particular, he was injured majority of the season. I mean, he only played 18 games for Manchester United, I'm pretty sure, in all competitions, and that's pretty appalling. So again, if that's how he's going to be every season at Manchester United, I would be more than happy for him to be sold. I mean, we did well without him, but he's one of those big money, big name players. So if you go, you see Bastian Schweinsteiger on the sheet, I guess team sheet, it just makes it look a little bit better. But if he got sold, wouldn't bother me. He is way too injury prone. Now, another player, there's only three more players left that I'm going to talk about being sold. The first of the three is Adnan Januzaj. Now, his first season at Manchester United, which was obviously with David Moyes. David Moyes gave Adnan Januzaj his shot. And that season, he was very, very good. He was supposed to be one of the best young prospects coming around. But the last two seasons under Louis van Gaal, he hasn't been the greatest. He had a very poor loan spell, apparently, at Borussia Dortmund. So it's sad to see him go, but he hasn't developed into the player that we all thought he was going to develop into. So it doesn't bother me too much that he will be sold. Hopefully, Jose Mourinho can bring in someone else who is better and who can actually perform. And now the last two players that I'm going to talk about them combined, because they're very, very similar in the reasons why they'll be sold, is Paddy McNair and Tyler Blackett. Now, Jose Mourinho wants a new centre-back, obviously, in like John Stones or Varane or something. And Tyler Blackett and Paddy McNair haven't really showed their qualities. I mean, Paddy McNair was pretty good from time to time, but Tyler Blackett was on loan at Celtic all season, I'm pretty sure. And I don't know how he went. I don't know if he was good or bad. But the rumour is those two will be sold because they're not in Mourinho's plans as well, like Januzaj. But that one doesn't bother me as much. Tyler Blackett and Paddy McNair, I feel like they've had plenty of times to show their qualities, and they haven't really showed up to it. Tyler Blackett more so. Paddy McNair had a few good games when he played, but But yeah, as I said, I don't really mind them leaving. Now, the players that Jose Mourinho are looking to bring in, now this player is already at Manchester United, David De Gea. Now, he was rumoured to want to leave if Louis van Gaal was to stay, but obviously he is sacked and Mourinho was announced coach. So the chances of De Gea staying is very, very likely. So that is great. I'm so happy about that because obviously he was named Manchester United's player of the season for the last 3 seasons and he has been top quality. He's announcing himself. He's easily second best goalkeeper in the world, 100%. Manuel Neuer is still above him, but to be fair, I don't reckon De Gea is too far behind him. He's also much younger compared to Neuer. Neuer's in his 30s, I think, and De Gea is, I think, only like 25 at the least. Don't quote me on that. I can't exactly remember. But yeah, David De Gea to stay. That's really good. Now there's I've got it down here. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. João Mario. He's a Sporting Lisbon midfielder. Now, if in FIFA, sorry, I can't really compare real life to FIFA, but I'm just going to use it in this instance. In FIFA, he's a central midfielder, but he got a team of the season, and it was a right mid. So I don't know if he's a centre mid or a right midfielder, but if he's a centre mid, that's very good. I don't know anything about him, so I'm just going to mention him. If you could let me know in the comments below what type of player he is. I'm guessing he's a very defensive, hard-working player, because as we all know, Jose Mourinho is a very defensive-minded coach. Another one is Nemanja Matic. Now, this would be top quality. I just don't think he'd leave Chelsea. I mean, he obviously has a great relationship with Mourinho, but I don't know. I just feel like he loves Chelsea too much to leave. But money could steer him away, and the fact of working with Jose Mourinho could steer him away as well. But yeah, I don't know. He's easily one of the best defensive midfielders in the world. Could be the best defensive midfielder in the Premier League. When he's on his game, obviously. Obviously Chelsea had a poor season. So, yeah, they don't really look to those players as, and considering them as quality players. But Matic is definitely the best defensive midfielder in the Premier League. Maybe not the best midfielder, but easily, when it comes to, a defensive-minded midfielder, he is the best at it. He's top quality. His work rates, even in attack are very good. I mean, did you see that goal against Everton? Whew, he can definitely hit a ball. When it comes to having a shot, obviously he's probably put many off target, but that's not why we want him. We want him for his defensive efforts, and that's fair enough. Another one that Jose Mourinho wants to bring in. This is an unusual one. I don't know if this is Mourinho or Manchester United, but they want to bring in Sadio Mane. I feel like he's not a very defensive-minded right or left midfielder or striker, wherever he plays. So I'm not entirely sure about that one. And I don't know if he's up to Manchester United qualities. I mean, obviously he's a very good player, but I feel like he should stay at Southampton. Or maybe push up a little bit, maybe go to like Tottenham or, someone a little higher. Maybe even Liverpool. Liverpool would be a great place for him to go. But I don't know. I just feel like he's not up to Manchester United standards. Obviously, I've just butchered Liverpool in that by calling them crap and worse than Manchester United, but sorry. Now, obviously, I already spoke about John Stones, so I'm not going to talk about him. Another, the 2 strikers that Mourinho apparently wants to bring in. Obviously, Ibrahimovic is more than likely to sign for Manchester United, but we have been linked with players like this in the past. Like, look at Eden Hazard. We were rumoured to sign him, and then all of a sudden he went to Chelsea. So Ibra could just sway off. He could go to Barcelona for all we know. Go back to Barcelona, but the rumours are at the moment that he will sign for Manchester United, but another striker that Mourinho wants to bring in is Karim Benzema. Now, this would be beautiful because he's the complete package when it comes to, as far as the striker comes. He's got good pace. He's got a bit of strength about him. He's clinical in front of goal. So I would be more than happy for him to come, but I feel like he should stay with Ronaldo and Bale. He's doing very well with them. But if he signed, again, I wouldn't be bothered. But I'd probably prefer Ibrahimovic, even though we'd only sign him on a 1-year deal. But yeah, I'd probably prefer Ibra. But if we did sign Benzema, it wouldn't bother me in the slightest. Now, another centre-back that we have been just linked with recently is Manolas. Now, I can only go off FIFA on his, how well he's played because of uniforms and shit like that. But I don't know how he is in real life. But I'm guessing he's got a bit of pace about him. But yeah, I don't really know much about him. If you could let me know in the comments what type of player he is, but I'd still be happy with him. I mean, yeah, I can only base myself off FIFA, so I'm not even going to bother keep talking about it anymore because I don't know much about Manolas. But the last player that I'm going to talk about that Mourinho wants to bring in, I don't know why I'm doing hand gestures, I'm so sorry, is Willian. Now, I had to ask a friend of mine who supports Chelsea. I'll leave his channel down below because he does career modes and stuff like that. His name's Underrated Gamer. Sorry. I got him because he's a Chelsea supporter. I had to ask him about Willian, what type of player he is, because I've never really I don't watch Chelsea. The only times I do is when they play Man United. And Willian is apparently he's a great player for Mourinho's play style. He's very defensive. You know, he's a real he's a real workhorse. Up and down that right hand side, left hand side, center of the park, wherever you can play him. He can play pretty much anywhere in midfield. He'd be a good replacement for Juan Mata. I mean, as much as I love Juan Mata, but Willian, again, because Chelsea had a poor season, people kind of overlooked him. But he still did. He was probably the best player for Chelsea this season, to be honest, from what I've heard. But anyway, with Mourinho in at manager, I think Willian would be one of the more likely signings to be made. And to be honest, I wouldn't mind. I mean, you know, he's got amazing free kicks. He's a real workhorse. He can play pretty much anywhere in midfield. But yeah, and he's got a good relationship with Mourinho, so that's always good. So yes, that's all the transfer talk. Now, this video has gone on for quite a while. Sorry, I should have mentioned that at the start, that this video would go for a little bit. But I'm doing a bit of an in-depth talk. And also, I'm in a different room. Sorry, I didn't even mention this. This is the room where I record. This is my mum's house. So sorry for not even mentioning that. You're probably just watching this whole video thinking, what the hell? That's not my dressing gown, by the way. That is my girlfriend's, so I'm not weird. Anyway, off topic. The last thing I'd like to mention is Mourinho's lack for developing youth players. Now, this is a big problem for me because I love, in all sports, like being in Australia, I also follow the NRL. If you're Australian, you would know what it is. Rugby league, pretty much. But yeah, I appreciate teams who develop youth. I don't like coaches who love to buy big name players to just try and win premierships or titles and stuff, trophies. I really don't like that. I like people who develop youth players. Now, Louis van Gaal did this very, very well. That's the biggest thing I'm going to miss about him. I mean, look at all the players he gave shots to. Fosu Mensah, who's amazing. Marcus Rashford, who just scored. Isn't he? He's the youngest player to score on his debut for England. So there you go. That just shows how promising he's going to be. Borthwick Jackson's amazing. Donald Love, he didn't play that good in his first game, but he's supposed to be a good prospect. James Weir, or Weir, however you say his name. Louis van Gaal gave shots to all those young players, and people are already talking about how good they are. And to be honest, unfortunately, I think Jose Mourinho is not going to continue to give those chances to those young players. And if we lose them as a result of that, it's going to be very annoying because they are supposed to be next big things. But if Mourinho just gets rid of them, it's quite frustrating because you can't just keep buying old people. You gotta breed in some blood, fresh blood. But anyway, that's probably the minor thing that I don't like about Jose Mourinho and I loved about Louis van Gaal. But anyway, guys, that is going to be it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Now, let me know your opinions on everything I've said. Don't leave hate. Just tell me if I've said something you don't agree with, tell me why in the comments. Or if I've said something that's false, let me know. But everything I've got from here is from the English papers and stuff like that. So, my bad if I got them wrong. But anyway, this video has gone for quite a while. Sorry if you didn't like how long it was, but I was doing sort of an in-depth thing on Jose Mourinho. Anyway, guys, as I've said, that is it. Leave a like, subscribe if you're new around here. Also, I will be getting a screen recorder and Elgato soon, and a better editing software in a couple months' time. So look forward to that if you enjoy my content but hate the quality. So if you're one of those people who has subscribed to me, stay tuned because I'm going to get something like that, a better recording setup, I guess is the word, soon. Anyway, I've rambled on for 20-something minutes. Won't be that long. I've edited a bit out. And I will see you guys in my next video, whatever that is. Yeah, anyway, goodbye.